Hello and welcome, my name is Lewis and today we're doing Reddit Gets Drawn episode 3. Today we have this quite nice picture, obviously taken in a car in the bright sunlight. What drew me to this one is just kind of the colour dynamics of it, how it goes from like the cold blue to the very warm reds on the right hand side, and I'm hoping to try and work in some of my own subsurface scattering right in the edges, just where it transitions from light to shadow. Okay, just to put in here, this is Future Lewis to explain that I made a silly mistake. I'd left my dimmer and yellower on my screen whilst I was actually painting this picture, so it actually looks more like this instead of what it's supposed to look like. That just influences the picture a little bit. I tend to exaggerate my colours quite a bit as well, so it probably didn't make that much of a difference in the overall scope of things, but yeah, just thought I'd let you know. So for this one I want to start with a dark background to show off the lights on the face, and I really want to focus on that colour dynamic, so those are the first things I'm going to get in, is just sort of those colours, getting the nice bright reds on the right side of the face, and then we've got nice cool kind of almost purples on the inside of the face, quite desaturated, something around this colour, and then it goes into the brights around the left side of the face where the sun is hitting, and there it's a lot more yellow, away from purple, a lot brighter and a lot less saturated. So that's the main part of the face. So that's our colour dynamic right there. That pretty much describes the lighting of the face. Okay, so we've reached a point where most of the colours we need are on the canvas and we're just spreading them out, and at this point it's really nice because all the colours are kind of blended together and you've got every colour on the palette that you'll really need, and then just the extras you can just mix together from kind of selecting a colour and then going in and just modifying it a little bit, which is quite nice. So this is the general outline. This includes every colour and roughly where it should be and all of the values that we need. So now it's just a question of shaping those into what we like and modifying them, and expanding the range, especially like in the lights where it's a little bit blown out. We'll have to use a bit of our imagination to add that information back in. So from this point we're just going to carry on getting the shapes right mainly. Currently our goal is just to get those nice rich colours in that picture, in our artwork, because that's what I kind of liked when I selected that picture. But I want it to be a little bit closer, so we're going to work on the shapes a little bit and just get the final form in and get some of the features and details in, like those on the eyes. So now we've got the eyes in and we're getting some of these details in, and getting the lightness a lot closer, shape of the face. We've got almost every detail in. Eventually we'll work down to working on the kind of neck areas, and probably even fix some of the values in what she's wearing. So now we're just getting all of these details in and then getting the shapes there. So we're just going to carry on and get our details in, get it all the right shape, and maybe see if we can get a bit more lightness, and then we'll probably do the final kind of deep details, like all the little strands in the hair. We'll do them in randomly with just a thinner brush and try not to work too heavy on them because we don't want too much contrast. This picture is really quite nice, especially because we've got this one like little dash of light falling on the eye, which is quite common, but it's quite common because it's quite good. And it just means that eye really stands out as kind of bright but still fits in. To get the eye quite bright, all I did was use the same values as I did over here on this eye in the light, but I just used those values over here. So all I did was I grabbed a little bit of that and I moved it to here, and just really carried that light over to the second eye. Liquefy is also quite an important thing when you're speed painting like this. I mean, you can always, if you want to be a bit more of a purist, you can just erase it and repaint and paint over it. But I think when you've got the tools there in digital, you might as well use them. Even in digital, really, it's a good idea just to plan ahead as much as you can. But it really helps to speed the process up, just as a shortcut, because it means you can start as sloppily as you want and really slam the colours in there. But then, when you inevitably make mistakes on where things should be, which often for the paintings isn't really as much of a goal to meticulously get all of the shapes spot on, but you do want it to look like a face and not be in the uncanny valley. It's useful just to be able to slot those colours in without really worrying about where you're putting them, and just kind of have fun with it, and if there's any mistakes you can just fix them with liquify, which isn't always a philosophy that works, but if you understand the shape of what you're painting, it can save quite a bit of time. Okay then, that's about an hour and 15's worth of painting, and I think we've reached the point at which I'm ready to stop. All of the important information's in there, and the lightness definitely carried through. I really got some nice chance to experiment with those colours, and I think I'll use them, well, definitely use them again, especially in my imaginative paintings, because that's a really nice kind of colour scheme of cold and dark in the, let me get a strong brush, of cold and dark in this kind of middle section, and then quite bright red light over here. It just makes it seem really nice. And the bright red, although I think the bright red is coming from other sources, it's really reminiscent of the subsurface scattering, like what you get between these edges where it goes higher in saturation and more red as the light is passing through the skin and through what's underneath it and picking up that colour, and then really glowing on the kind of edges. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. If I'd worked on it further, all I'd be doing is just getting all of the pinpoint accuracy details in, and getting the areas that were a bit more neglected in this painting, like the shoulders and all down there really, just to their full final place, which isn't really completely necessary to make the painting have the effects that it's supposed to, because that wasn't the focus. The focus was just to get the nice colours in, so I think here's a nice spot to stop. I hope everyone's enjoyed watching this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.